The world's oceans play a key role in the global economy, from supporting global trade to providing food and jobs for millions of people around the world. Financial analysts refer to the sustainable use of the ocean's resources as the blue economy. And according to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, the blue economy is projected to grow faster than the global economy in the coming decades and reach $3 trillion by 2030. But some climate scientists and economists warn that economic activities related to the seas and coasts could potentially be impacted by climate change. So what can be done to protect the future of this budding subsection of the world economy? Joining us now to take a deeper dive into the topic is business and markets analyst Seth Denson. Seth, welcome on. Thanks for coming in.
Christina, great to be with you.
So how key is this blue economy to the overall financial well-being of the global economy?
Yeah, well, the blue economy effectively accounts for up to 90% of all global trade in some way, shape, or form. That doesn't mean that 90% of all global trade is the blue economy. But the reality is that all global trade is impacted by the blue economy, whether it's something that you receive that may be shipped from overseas, whether it's a box, whether it is something that even sometimes we think about the blue economy only being exports, but you think about the Mississippi River right here in the United States and the Great Lakes. All of that has to do with the blue economy. And so it is an essential component to driving our overall growth, not only as a U.S. economy, but as a global economy.
So then what's the future of shipping? Do you think that we could see electric or maybe hydro-powered ships be at least a partial solution? And is it more localized manufacturing? Would that be an option?
Local manufacturing certainly does impact the overall export-import requirements, and what we are seeing happening right now in this movement to electric vehicles and even electric aircraft, we're starting to see. Will that make its way into the shipping center? Sure, but it's hard to see a big ship like the Evergrande and some of these others that we've watched operate in a strictly electric capacity. But we need to continue to investigate what can be done to improve our capabilities, to make sure that we're not having harmful impacts on the overall climate, and that is going to impact this. The number of jobs, I mean, we're talking about 30 million plus jobs here as well. We talk about the overall impact of trade, but it is an actual impact of the overall jobs as well. And it's important that we have plans to address all these things.
Something that legislators and policymakers usually like to say is that you have to eliminate or reduce fossil fuels, but this would have a massive impact on the shipping industry. Is this something that's realistic? Is it even possible to eliminate fossil fuels when it comes to shipping?
A lot of times when I hear politicians talk about that, I think they think like it's a switch that we can flip. It's not. And is it something we can do? Well, certainly it can. I hate to think that anything is beyond reach if we focus in and try to make a plan for it. But you can't do it in a vacuum, meaning you have to think about the overall economic impact of decisions that are being made. Are we inside of a world where in the next decade we've eliminated our need for fossil fuels? Absolutely not. Not if we want to be prudent economists as we think about the overall economy. Just because the costs associated with doing that would cause shipping to increase so much, it wouldn't be affordable, and that would have a massive global impact. So I think we have to walk and chew gum at the same time here when it comes to thinking about alternatives to fossil fuels. We need to think through what the planning is, but be prudent in how we do that.
Seth, let's end on a good note. What steps can we take to specifically help the blue economy thrive in the future?
Well, I always like to say anybody that has control, I remember growing up in the era where we would talk about not littering and picking up the ocean and waterways. That is a critical component. This earth is a great blessing, and it's up to all of us to make sure that we maintain it and control what we do. Pay attention to where we buy our goods and how we buy our goods and what companies, what their environmental policies are. But most importantly, what do we control ourselves? That's the thing that we can do.
Seth Denson, thank you for coming on.
Thanks so much.